Okay, this video is to show how in Wound Makeup Artist for DAZ Studio you can move the wounds around the texture of the character. Remember that Genesis characters are divided in different texture maps. The torso is one of, if you go to the Surfaces tab and you click with this tool, the Surface Selection tool, you click on the Genesis character, you're gonna see in the Surface tab, you're gonna have different texture maps that are cut in different ways. As you see, this one doesn't have the face. That's just the torso. Then if you click on the arms, then you get the two arms. If you click on the face, then you get just the face and the ears. And then if you click on the legs, sorry, this is taking the pants. I'm gonna make that unselectable so I can click on the legs and you can see. I'm gonna have to click over here. Okay, so if we click on the legs, you see that's the texture that makes the legs on the character. So when you use Wound Makeup Artist, those wounds are gonna get on top of these textures. If we go here, there are these two different ways that you can put a wound on top of the character texture. One is through Iray Decals, and the decals you're only gonna see when you are in Iray mode, and you are gonna have to have a decent video card in order to move around your character and get a redraw fast enough so you can see what is happening. Today, almost any video card can do the job. Almost any decent NVIDIA video card that has that can use Iray can do the job. And the other way is the old way through the layer image editor. And for that one, you have that you mostly use this one when you are rendering in the old renderer, which is instead of NVIDIA 3D Lite. So that's included here with the product too. But let's go back to the question, which was, how do we move these Iray decals around? So for example, you go and you're gonna have a torso wound, and we're gonna use this one, torso slash. So I click on my figure, I have the figure selected. Now I go and I click on the wound that I wanna use, which is this one, and that wound gets placed on his torso. But let's say I don't like it in there. I wanna move it to his left chest, his left pec. So I go into the surfaces. I'm still at the surface tab, and I go into the scene and I look for that wound. You see the wound is gonna be here. Is parented to the figure, to Genesis 8 male. So I click on the wound, and now I'm gonna click on the wound here. Once I'm on that wound, I'm gonna go and look for the offset sliders. You're gonna have a horizontal and a vertical offset. And they are usually at the bottom. So you see them here, horizontal offset and vertical offset. I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna start clicking on the horizontal offset, and you see that's moving it to his right. So I want that to move to his left, so I'm gonna click the other side, and you see how it is moving now to his left. So okay, now it's getting to the place that I wanted it to be. and now the wound is on his left pec. Now I would like to have that wound on his stomach, on his abs. So I position my figure. I have the Iray engine going on the viewport so I can see the wounds, because if I go into my texture shaded OpenGL, that's the thing with Iray decals. They are not visible. You have to work with your NVIDIA mode in your viewport. So now it's computing again. Now it is displaying it again on the left pec. I want to go to the abs, so I go vertical offset, and I'm gonna see if that gets it to the tops, and I want it to go to the bottom. So I keep doing this. You start seeing how the wound is traveling down to his abs. And I want that wound to be a little bit to his right side, so I'm gonna go back to the horizontal offset, and I'm gonna start moving it to the right. And that's how you can change positions of the different wounds. If remember that wound can go around his torso texture, so it could end in the back. If you would like the wound to be on the back, you just continue with the horizontal offset. Wrong direction. Okay, this way. You continue like that until that wound is visible on his back. If we turn him around, you see how the wound is gonna start to appear. You see it's kind of on that corner in there, on his side right now, but we want to move it so it ends up around this area here. So we are gonna continue moving it. And it's starting to display on his back. We want it to go a little bit up, so we go vertical offset. Vertical offset, vertical offset. Until now the wound is showing on his back. And remember, you cannot go past this center line here, the center line of his back, because that's where the texture ends. If you look at the texture, at his back texture, and the wound is gonna start to disappear once you go to that area. If you wanna go to that other side of his back, you see this is the right side of his back, this is the left side. If you want it to cross to the left side, you cannot go around here, because that texture breaks in that line. If we look at his texture, Genesis a male torso, the torso texture, you see how it, let me see if I can, layer image editor here. Let's take a look at that texture so you can see what I mean. Okay, zoom to fit. Okay, if you look at that texture, that's the center line of his back. That's the center line of his back. You cannot go around here, because once you hit here, the wound starts to disappear because it's going off to the white area. So that means in order for it to end up in here, you're gonna have to go back around to the front and onto this side, and then you're gonna have the wound here in his on the left side of his back. Let me illustrate it. We go back, we touch the wound, and now we go and keep going with the horizontal offset. Oops, wrong direction. Okay. And we keep going to this side, and look how that wound starts to disappear. You see how the wound disappears? That's because it's getting to that white area. That white area doesn't displace. Let me show you the torso. You see that white area? Okay, zoom to fit. That wound has gotten to this area here. So that doesn't displace. So we need to go around here. We need to go back around here in order to hit the left side of the back, which is this one here. Once you start playing with this long enough, it's gonna be second nature. But you need to start using it and moving things around. So we go back with the horizontal offset. Oops. Yeah, it went even farther to the white area. And we start going horizontal offset. Now we're gonna keep going. It goes around, it's gonna end up back to the front. Let me show you. The wound end up back to the front. And we keep with the horizontal offset. Oops. Horizontal offset. We keep going. We keep going, keep going, keep going. And now it's gonna start hitting the back. On the left side of the back. Okay, it's still on the side. Yeah, just keep going, keep going. Okay. Oh, okay, I went the wrong direction. Okay, just keep going. Keep going until you see it on the left. And there it is. There it is on the back side. But I went too far, so that means I need to go a little bit more to the side here. And that's how we transfer that wound to the left side of his back. You have to be, you have to know where are the limits of the texture. Where does that texture, the torso texture cuts? The same thing with the arms. If you go, these are the arms. This is the texture that makes up the arms. That wound is gonna place somewhere in those textures. So you have to play with this. You have to know that that's your template. That's the template that you're using. That's the texture is gonna fall someplace here, and you will have to move it around that area. If we go to the library now and we're gonna look for the arm, let's say I have a cut on the left arm. So this is the left arm. We're gonna go left arm cuts, 3 cuts, this one. And now you see how that's the second wound that we have loaded, and that's on his arm's texture. And you see how when you use the surface selection tool, it tells you the limits. That's the limits of that texture. That's that texture over there. The top one is the left arm. The bottom one is the right arm. So we're gonna go and we're gonna look for the wound, left arm cuts, and we're gonna click it in the surface tab, and with the horizontal offset and vertical offset, we're gonna move that. I want to have it a little bit to the front, close to the bicep. So we're gonna go and try horizontal and see where it moves. It's moving, okay, in this case, it's moving down because of the way the texture is arranged on the template. So you try vertical now, vertical offset, and you see that it's going around to the back. So it needs to go to the front, so you hit here on vertical offset, and you start seeing the wound moving to the bicep. Maybe I want it to go a little bit lower, so I go into horizontal offset, and I start clicking horizontal offset, and I start seeing that wound hitting the bicep. Now getting closer, until I have the desired position. And maybe I want it to go a little bit down. So I go like this. And it can keep traveling down your texture template until you can put that wound wherever you want it around that template. Vertical offset, horizontal offset. And that's horizontal depending on the template. Horizontal. Vertical will be that way for the template. Okay. I want it to go down. Okay, yeah, right around the wrist is where I want it. And I want to have another cut. I have that cut that was on the front. I put it on the back because I wanted to have a cut on the back. So, but now I want to have also a cut on the chest. So I go again to my torso, and I select my torso slashed. And that's in there. And maybe I want another one on the, I like that one, but I want another one on the abs. So I go and click another time, and I go into the scene, and I have those two. One is on top of the other, but I want to move one of them, torso slash the third one, I want to move it to the stomach. So I go into here, into the surface tab, and I go into the vertical offset, and I start moving it down. Oops, it's moving up, sorry. Yeah, I go here, and I keep going down, until it hits the abs. Yeah, keep going, and you see how that wound is moving? Yeah. And now horizontal offset to go a little bit to his left side. Maybe I want it in the middle, right there in the middle, okay? And maybe I want that torso slash on the left pec. So I go horizontal offset, and I'm gonna move like this. On the horizontal, and maybe I want it a little bit down on the vertical. So I go vertical offset, I go down, and there it is. He just had a fight with a big tiger, a saber tooth. And you can keep playing with other cuts, as there are a bunch of them on the library. We can put another one in here. And his chest is so big you cannot even see that cut. Let's see, torso cut 5. Okay, torso cut 5 here. We're gonna go down, vertical offset, and yeah, that starts showing in the chest. Yeah, okay, yeah, so I want it in the chest. That looks good in the chest like that. Yeah. Okay, there you have it. That's how you move the wounds around the character. Hope this tutorial helped some of you. I got a couple of comments of people wanting to know how you do this. So hope it is clear now. Bye, and until the next one.